Welcome back. Let's talk about a game called Pox Nora. I'm here with Arthur Griffith from Desert Owl Games. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
So Pox Nora is a very interesting looking game. This is something that I hadn't really heard too much about until recently, but once I started looking at it, I kind of fell into a rabbit hole of, oh, so they're doing this.
Right.
It's becoming very interesting to me. Give me a quick overview of Pox Nora.
So Pox Nora is kind of hard to describe. It's a mixture of a turn-based strategy game, a collectible card game, and a role-playing game all rolled into one. Yeah, basically, players have their own...
Oh, wait, Corgi mount. I saw a Corgi.
Yeah, that is the Corgi Knight. So Pox Nora is a really big game. We have lots of different factions. So Corgi Knight specifically is from like the Kathir Forest faction, where everything's a little lighter like that. So yeah.
I am already falling in love with this game. So we do have the trailer running here. I'm getting some very strong like Final Fantasy Tactics vibes.
Right.
Which was a huge favorite of mine way back in the day.
Well, when I first sat down and designed this game, it was my inspirations were actually Final Fantasy Tactics and Command & Conquer Generals.
There you go.
And it kind of came together into a unique thing of what it is now. So, a lot of people who play tabletop games also find themselves pretty attracted to what Pox Nora is. Because it's actually a really, really deep game. So I think at this point we have something on the order of 2,000 runes in the game.
2,000 runes?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we refer to as our cards. It's
okay.
a little bit different than a normal card, because when you actually play the game, you bring down a card and the character comes to life in front of you. So and then every character has their own set of abilities. And the more you play the game, the more experience your individual characters get, and then you can customize every individual character as well.
Okay, so is it kind of like you have the deck building aspect,
right?
And then your deck dictates the characters that you have in play on the battlefield?
Right. So
okay.
Pox Nora is a lot about expressing your own creativity. So we have a lot of different runes in the game, and players come up with their own combos constantly. So, let's say you're someone who likes to play, the Forest faction we were talking about earlier,
yeah.
right? One of the characters in the game is called the Garu Den Mother, right? It's like this were-bear style character. When she gets deployed, a cub is deployed with her. Now, she's really strong, so you might want to attack her directly.
Sure.
But if you take too long, the cub will actually grow into a full-size bear.
Ah.
Deal with that. If you attack the bear, the cub, the mother becomes enraged.
Oh.
That's one ability on one character, and like I said, we have about 2,000. So players come up with their own ideas and put things together, and any Pox Nora player will tell you when we go on and play, we actually the developers get our butts kicked all the time, because it's about players coming up with their own ideas and expressing it the best they can.
So there's so many combinations here. It has to be impossible to like fully test and like balance and everything. Do you ever run into situations where like, oh, that's actually pretty OP, we should probably fix that?
Any game balance is a ongoing thing. So yes, but that's actually part of the strengths we have too. So we have a very active community that we constantly not just get feedback from, but actually help us design and put together the game. So, we do this thing where players come up with ideas, we listen to them, and then as we develop more parts of the game, we listen to their feedback and mold to that. So.
Cool. So I'm looking at these cards as they were scrolling by on the screen, and there's a lot of different stats to consider. How deep does this game go?
Pretty deep. So again, you can almost think of it as like a platform and a set of mechanics. So, I was looking at a second ago, there was, an ice storm going off.
Yeah.
So there are 8 factions in Pox Nora. One of them has a lot of ice features. So if you're someone who likes that kind of damage, you say, okay, I'm gonna build myself an ice deck and focus on augmenting that damage. You might be someone who's like, okay, I'm gonna focus on an ice deck, but instead of just doing straight damage, I want to actually put down blocks of ice on the ground or build barriers to block people from taking things so I can take over.
Okay. A little bit of Magic the Gathering in there. Back to that deck building.
Totally. If
I'm gonna build a swarm deck.
Yeah, so let's say you're building the undead faction.
Yeah.
We have full-on skeleton swarm decks. If you like that Garu Den Mother, you can build beast swarm decks, and then have
cool.
like beast masters come out and basically, boost all the different kind of beasts that you'll deploy. And it's all about what you want to, put together. So there are even players who like put together decks that look like they're doing one thing and then pivot to something else to try to throw their opponent
Mind
off.
games.
Right. So, we have Pox Nora is what I would call a tier 1 multiplayer game. So that is the main focus. It's about balance, it's about PvP. We also have a huge amount of single player content.
I was just going to ask about like multiplayer versus single player.
Yeah, we have about 100 campaigns, and people like to play that. We actually introduced a mode just recently called Skirmish Mode, which became really popular. And basically, you play against the AI, but the AI randomly picks from PvP decks that are currently winning. So you can kind of play against the different battle masters without, actually putting yourself on the line in ranked play. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. That's Pox Nora. It's coming out in summer 2016. Anything else you want to say to the PlayStation audience out there?
If you're looking for a real deep game that will hook into you and let you express yourself, check out Pox Nora. It's fantastic.
Great. Arthur, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Cool. Thank you very much.
PlayStation